And we are back. So, last time we had this little flag situation going on. And what you want to do here is just roll this, kind of like how we did some of them before. If you want to add a little glue to the inside here, that's not a bad idea, just to make sure that it really stays. Now, the reason we're using, so much glue to kind of keep this together is just so when the other blade is going in and out, we don't want to lose the part that's connected to this one. So get it over about twice. That's about good, and then you should glue it again here. So go over it about 2 times so that you have some left. 2 should be enough. Yeah, make sure that that is tight. Okay, let that glue. I shall come back once that is finished drying. Alright, that should do. Now this part gets a little tricky. You'll need your other blade, if you will, and lay it on something like that. Just a little bit neater though. So you just want to lay it on top. Now, take your flap and you have to roll around it. Not too tightly, you've got to do it so that it can still slide. So let's just test it. Yeah, that works. And now the bottom is open. You can close that if you want. You don't have to close it if you really don't want to deal with it, but just know that that is going to be a part of this. Okay. Just keep going around. Will it look like a tube? The answer is yes. Why, you may ask? Because it is a tube. That works. And leave that there for now, and just glue that side right there. This will be the moment where this all works. Sure those are tight enough, and just glue that. Now if you're using something like origami paper, the glue will cause it to wrinkle a little bit. So if you don't want that, you could use a heavier paper. Some origami paper has a bit more tooth to it, so that way this wouldn't be a problem. If you're using construction paper, unless you're dousing this thing in glue, it should be okay. You don't really need very much, you just need enough for it to hold. And so you let that sit for a while, and that is how you shall make each side. Now, just again, test it to make sure that you can draw it and put it away easily, so it works just fine. Make sure that when it's drying, you leave this in so that it dries with the right shape, because if you take this out and like press it flat, and when you glue it, this probably won't fit back in when you try to put it back together. Now, we shall let that dry and kind of talk about the next side, which means you got to do the whole same thing again, but this is in here. So once this is dry, you can take the second blade out, this one. You can take that out, as soon as you feel that this is now together. And you want to do the same steps with your second piece up to when you need to roll it. And I will jump there so that you can see. Alright, so now we're up to about here, and we have to start rolling it. So what you want to do is take this blade and put it back in. Now, if your blades have flipped over, which they might, don't worry, you can make it work. Just, be gentle, and it should work. You just want them to match just like that, so that they are just end to end. That's all you need to worry about. And then just roll it as you did before. Just, gently enough that it will roll smoothly and that you can still remove the other blade, which I almost can. Let's do it on the table, shall we? Maybe that'll make it easier. There we go. Yep, still works. And they will just slide past each other. Continue to roll till you get to the edge and glue. And that's pretty much it. That is, in a nutshell, how you do it. If you want to add extra details, this is where you can kind of do what you want with that. If you want to fill in the bottom so that it's not just a hole, feel free to, right there. If you want to fill that in, you can just get your glue, fill it in. The only thing you want to make sure is that you don't glue one blade in, because then it might be a little hard to do that. But that's how you do it. I hope that this has helped you learn how to make this ridiculous thing that in no way is usable for most situations, but whatever. It was a fun idea. It was a fun thing. But yeah, this doesn't actually have a name as far as I know, so just know that. Let's see, is there anything else to mention? I guess briefly I could just say that there are some other people that have made tutorials for this kind of thing before me, at least before I've done this one, off of that one you've seen from way back when, and their tutorials are quite good too, and I'll try to mention their names if you want to see a slightly different version, but nonetheless valid one. Yeah, also, just something you may notice when you use these, if the sword rattles when you go like that, you might need to glue some bits on the inside, and it will be a little squishy feeling. Since this is origami paper, it will depress a little bit, but that's kind of the whole problem with having, you know, the sheath be part of the hilt, is that it kind of wouldn't be strong enough to really deal with anything, hence why these aren't actually real. But that's irrelevant, because these are paper and you guys want to know how to do it, and that's how you do it.